Hey folks, alright, so it's Rosik here, and it's that time of year again where we are looking at the hurricane season. And I do have information that the Weather Channel and the National Hurricane Center just released about a week ago on the possible outlook for the 2014 hurricane season. Alright, so first of all, the hurricane season officially starts on June 1st and it runs through November 30th, and the peak time is the second week of September. And this year is going to be a bit kind of like last year. Now, last year we had a bit of a quieter season than average, and an average season consists of 12 named storms, 6 of those that become hurricanes, and 3 of those hurricanes that become Category 3 or higher. So that is the average 10 to 15 year average for the Atlantic Basin on the hurricane season. Now last year we were down about 1 or 2 storms in each of the categories, and this year it looks like we are going to have another quiet season, and I do have the reasoning behind that. Now first, we do have the actual numbers out right now, or at least for until we get closer to the actual start of hurricane season. Right now they're predicting 11 named storms, 5 of those becoming hurricanes, and only 2 of those becoming major hurricanes, Category 3 or higher. And we do have a couple reasons behind why we think it's going to be a quieter Atlantic season. First of all, it's not on this map, but first of all, well, kind of. The Atlantic Ocean, the Western Atlantic Ocean, and the Caribbean are pretty much warmer than average right now, and the computer models are keeping the warmer temperatures in the Western Atlantic pretty much the same throughout most of the hurricane season. However, you go into the Eastern Atlantic, right off the Cape of Africa and everything, we have cooler than normal water temperatures right now, and the computer models are keeping the water temperatures out there pretty much average to slightly below average throughout the main course of the hurricane season. And that's the area where we typically see our strongest hurricanes actually form. So that's one reason why we think that we're going to have a bit more of a quiet season. The other reason is when you look at the Eastern Pacific waters, they have an influence as well, depending on if it's a warmer, cooler, or just average type of water temperatures out in the Eastern Pacific. The computer models right now show slightly cooler than normal water temperatures. However, the computer models are showing an increased possibility of above average water temperatures in the Eastern Pacific. And what does that do? Okay, so basically what happens is once the water warms, air has to rise. And once the air rises into the upper parts of the atmosphere, it has to go somewhere. Well, typically the winds are pushed eastward over the pretty much the Caribbean and the Western Atlantic. And what happens is the upper wind patterns that blow the wind east and everything, it creates shear in the upper parts of the atmosphere. And shear basically tears apart high-top thunderstorms. And so that suppresses thunderstorm activity. Hurricanes have to feed also on low wind shear to pretty much grow in strength. So if you have unfavorable upper level winds and it's tearing apart the storms and everything, you're not going to have as many hurricanes as you normally do. So that's the other thing that the weather meteorologists are also looking at, is a possibility of a El Nino this year, opposed to the past few years where we've pretty much been pretty much neutral for the Eastern Pacific water temperatures and everything. So with that being said, it does look like this year could end up being a quieter year, which is good because we don't need, 50 billion hurricanes to come on shore and wreak havoc everywhere. And I also do have the Atlantic names that I am going to read off to you. We're going to first start with Arthur. We'll go to Bertha next. We have Cristobal, Dolly, Edward, Faye, Gonzalo, Hannah, Isis, that's a cool name, Josephine, Kyle, Laura, Marco, Nana, Omar, Paulette, Ren, Sally, Teddy, Vicky, and if we get to the last letter, which is W, it will be named Wilfred. So that is the list of the 2014 names and everything. So with that all said, are you guys prepared for hurricane season? Let me know in the comments below. You can also check out my previous hurricane outlooks that I've been doing over the past 2 years, I think. I'll put the links up there as well. Remember to keep your eye to the sky, and let's hope that this upcoming hurricane season, everyone is prepared and it's not as busy and destructive as, well, other years that have been recent. All right. Remember to keep your eye to the sky and enjoy the nice weather.